13 things never to say to a step-parent. This channel is all about how to be a stepdad. I'm just researching on actually how to be a stepdad, even though I've been doing it for officially 2 years. This is like the hardest thing in the world. I've started a company, I've gone to college, emotionally, gut-wrenching, breakups, I've been sued, I've been arrested, and being a step-parent is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. So I'm researching it. I'm trying to figure out just how to be better. My stepson always tells me I'm like amazing. My stepdaughter has told me once how she feels. I just still feel like I can get better. I Googled things never to say to a stepchild, and all these things came up about things not to say to a step-parent. And I'm just gonna see where this takes me. So this is from Reader's Digest. This is back in 2019 of August, and I'll include the link so you know where I'm grabbing this from. That the stepchild should never say to the step-parent, I guess in the heat of a moment in an argument, you knew this was a package deal. Like, so if the stepchild has an issue with the step-parent, well, it's like stepkids being like, well, you want it to be with mom? Like, I come with it. No, neither kid has actually ever said that to me. So I'm going to score them, Monkey and Cheetah, batting 100 right now. 1 for 1, not having to say that. Oh, I guess this is not even something that stepkids say to their step-parents, but just something that people should never say to a step-parent. This has also never happened to me before. Oh, actually it has. I'm lying. It has. You should love those children as if they were your own. I really, really love my stepchildren. I also have just had a biological child, and I'll explain the difference in a video between a stepchild and a biological child. I can't say I love one more than the other. I really can't. I really try to think about it, because put yourself in a situation, right? Like, house is on fire. It's not like I'm gonna save the biological child first. I just want to get everybody. But so maybe I'm different. That's my situation. Should you? I don't know. I think that's going to depend on the situation you're in. As a step-parent, this is the way I see it, you're the second choice. The actual parent, it almost has to try really hard for that child to hate him and not want to build a relationship, like no matter what. Like, I know there's exceptions, like sometimes people are like, nah, I don't want to know them, or I don't want a relationship with them. But I've just seen so many situations where that parent is just such a jerk. You know, the moment the parent's ready, it might be in 5 years, in 18 years, in 30 years. It seems like the child is more willing to basically forgive and try again. So this is a long answer. You definitely gotta love your stepchildren, I think. Do you have to love them as if they were your own? No, but if you love your spouse, then you gotta love what she loves. You gotta love what he loves. The requirement isn't to love them as your own, but you have to love them because they're the children of the person you love. Step aside for the family photograph. Would never. Don't do that. Unless you're just like mixing and matching. I actually had that done to me. At me and my wife's wedding, the kids wanted to take a picture with mom and the baby, and I was not included in those. You have to let go of those things. The way I see it, I'm the man of the house. I need to act accordingly, so I can't throw a tantrum if I'm not in a photo. Again, that's my perspective. Don't know if it's right. I would not ask a kid to step out of the family photo, like want to get this like real family and then you. The only way I would do it is if it was a full rotation, so everybody got the one-on-one. We actually had a family photo day, and that's exactly what we did. We took the picture all together and then we swapped in and out, so everybody had their own individual photo with that person. I'm so glad you went through this, because now I know how to handle things. I don't know, if you say that to me, if you're looking to get involved as a step-parent yourself, like maybe you met somebody and that person has kids and you're like, oh great, I get to bounce my scenarios off of you. I mean, I like to help. That's why I'm doing this channel. So that's something that I don't think you should never say to a step-parent. Reader's Digest doing pretty good so far. The kids are 1 for 2. But you really have 5 children, not 4. I gotta be honest right here. I think if as a step-parent you're not including all of them, I think that is more of a reflection that there's a problem with you, not the situation or another person saying the wrong thing to you. You shouldn't actually call somebody out for it. But if you do get called out for it, I think you need to internally look at what your mission is in the scenario that you're in, because I just believe that if you got to come with love. So if you're not coming with love, you're gonna get offended by stuff like that. You're not the real mom or dad. Oof. Ooh, oh, my baby just woke up. Hey, I don't think this is ever going to happen. So again, 4+ years going on as a disciplinary in this household, 2 years officially as the title with the stepdad, like legally getting married. My stepdaughter has never said, "You're not my real dad." So she's 2 for 3. My stepson has never said it either. And I actually had, because he was complaining about his stepmom, probably just trying to be a mom. I just gave him a heads up. I'm like, hey, you cannot say that. I mean, I was like, you can. You only get to use that once. If you are the stepchild and you say, "You're not my real mom, you're not my real dad," the reason why I say you're only going to get to use that once is because, first of all, it's only going to be effective once. Whatever you're trying to do and whatever you're trying to do with saying that line, it's actually probably going to work. But the reason why I say you can never say it again is because once you say that, especially if you don't address it, it's going to change everything about that relationship going forward. Because now it's been shouted, most likely if you said that, it was shouted that there is a difference and that you are aware of it and now they are aware of it and now you're both gonna go on every day being aware of that. Be careful about that one. 2 for 3 with the stepkids. This is a weird one. You don't need to or shouldn't attend the school play. Oh, I guess this is if my wife said this to me. The step-parent may feel rejected, the child may become torn, and the biological parent may ultimately end up in the middle of a power struggle. Be mindful of this before making such a declaration. Take a step back and put the children first. So that's interesting. My wife has definitely always encouraged me to come to sporting games, especially, so let's say with the soccer, for example, like I want to go to everything. My father came to everything, even when he was working, even when he was busy. I played baseball, so especially if I pitched, I remember that he was always there. Scenario that becomes a problem is when his dad is there. This is important for, again, this comes back down to the love aspect. If you're there just to bring love to that situation, then you're not going to get offended too easily. For me, especially in my situation, I always knew that I'm ultimately going to be second choice. Hey, I'm going to give you whatever you want from me. Like, it's kind of up to you. I don't think you need to say that explicitly to the stepkids, but like, it's just in my behavior and how I handle things. It's all about them. If dad's not there to coach, if dad doesn't want to, I'm going to be there 100. If dad is going to be there 50% of the time, I will fill the void of the 50. If dad is not there at all, or if dad is there a lot, I'm doing something, everything, or I'm doing nothing. So I know how to take a back seat. That might be, so now I'm starting to analyze that. Like, I wonder if that's unhealthy. I don't know. Like, for me, the situation. But ultimately, I'm about peace. So I don't want dad to get any notion in his head that I'm trying to take over. Because I'm not. I'm trying to be really a partner in this with my wife. Sporting events. Yeah, I mean, if you're saying that to your significant other, sounds like you really just don't want them there. So just say that. I'm all about honesty. Stop trying so hard with my children. Damn. I mean, there's probably just a better way to say that. I haven't been scoring my wife, but she has not done any of these things so far. So she's batting 1,000. She's a really awesome wife. They're saying it takes 2 to 4 years for like everybody to get to a cohesive unit and to understand probably boundaries, expectations, the actual wedding day. So because of COVID, our wedding celebration was postponed. So we didn't actually do the party where we had family and friends until like 2 years after we got married. That day really was important. I know some people, you don't believe in the party because it's so much money. Oh my God. I am so glad I know what all of that feeling was like. And I don't care how much money I spent, because that was really, I actually said after the wedding, I told my wife, I said, I don't know if that wedding was for you. I said, I think that might have been for Cheetah, because the relationship I have with my stepdaughter has like exploded in such a good way after the wedding. We had some really nice words that we shared with each other privately. She got to speak at our wedding and she said like heartwarming and heart-touching words. When I met her, she was a 13-year-old teenage girl. I chose to like completely ignore her in some ways, meaning I didn't try. I didn't knock on her door and try to have a conversation. I didn't say, hey, come on, let's watch a movie, get in the car, let's go here, take you shopping, and hey, do this, and I didn't like plan anything. I just sort of waited for when a good moment was, and a lot of times I would really wait for her to maybe suggest something, and then I'd jump on it. That was the hardest part for me and her, for me in the beginning, because I was always on standby. I just felt like in my situation, I didn't have a margin to make error. I just did nothing. And then maybe when she asked to do something, like, no matter what kind of mood I was in, no matter what was going on, no matter what was in the schedule, like I was just gonna find a way to do it and just say yes. With my stepson, I met him when he was like 5 or 6 years old. That's just my little guy right now. He's like a brother. That kid made it so easy from day one. Me and him have a special bond, and it's easier, I think, because it's man to man. Just clicking on stuff. Like, we could play video games together. We can throw around a baseball. We could talk about life, girls, even though he doesn't like to yet. That came so naturally, I didn't even have to try. It's really depending on your situation, but I think, again, if you're stressing to your spouse, stop trying so hard. You may be right. You don't want the message to get lost in the messenger. So say it a different way. You're the least common denominator. What? I don't even want to touch this one. You're the least common denominator? Step-parents also create conflicts of loyalty for kids. A child may think, if I care about my new stepmom, I am disloyal to my mom. But this shouldn't be your green light to tell step-parents that they are the least common denominator within the family. Okay, now I get it. No, terrible thing to say. Definitely don't say that. But I will say I'm also guilty of actually saying that to my wife about myself. I didn't say I'm the least common denominator, but I said I'm the first one out. Man, if all of a sudden my stepdaughter just wanted to create fights and just end me and my wife's relationship, she could have done that. She could have just made it hard and difficult. I remember my wife saying when we first met, like, I hope my kids like you because that's not up to me. So she's saying, if they don't like you, this isn't going to work. Yeah, no, there's some truth to that too. So you're the evil stepmom now. I would agree with that. Big no-no. It's not your place to complain. It's not your place to complain. I mean, I guess that's like if somebody told you to suck it up. I don't know. There's actually more nuance in that because I can think of things where me and my wife talked about that were uncomfortable. You're only in it for the money. I'm going to leave that one alone. If you don't know that's not what you're supposed to say, then I don't need therapy, you do. In the household I grew up in, it was my dad's second marriage. My brother from his first marriage lived with us on and off. He went to some counseling or therapy, was like really against it. He probably, if you're a child and your parents get divorced, you need to talk to somebody. Top of the list right away, as hard as it is going to be with each parent. I mean, you have to talk to them. Next step is friends, and I don't really know where they go on the scale, but friends, other family members, teachers, peers. If you don't get what you need from that, you gotta go to counseling. You have to go to therapy. Everybody should be in therapy. Like, if therapy was affordable for everybody should get it. That is just such a valuable tool. If you're afraid of it, it's more of a reason why you should do it. Should you say that to somebody? No. That was Reader's Digest 13 Things Never to Say to a Step-Parent. My kids scored really well on this. It's not something they ever say. Right now, we have a really good relationship. It wasn't always good or great. Right now, it's good and great. My wife scored 100, I think. My wife's family did not score 100. My family did not score 100. All in all, I am in this relationship and marriage because it's been so well. It's been so gratifying. It's been so rewarding. There's been a lot of bumps. Fortunately, not some of those, just one of them, I think. That's pretty good. I will include this link so you could read it yourself. That way you can see where all the sources came from. But I think this might have been one of my first videos on how to be a stepdad. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and share. Building this channel would mean the world to me.